Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. In this video, I am going to do a what I realistically read in a week. This is very fun for me to film because I don't really have to do anything extra other than reading. So that is happening. Today is Monday, October 28th. I want to include what I read yesterday in this video. So yesterday it was Sunday and I have finished Januaries by Olivie Blake. I think this video is going to come out after I have already posted my October reading wrap up. So you most probably already heard me talk about this book. I'm not going to insist too much, but I really liked this book. Olivie Blake has become my new favorite author that I have discovered this year, and I have read pretty much all of her books other than The Atlas Paradox and The Atlas Complex. I mean, all of her books that she published under the pen name of Olivie Blake, because she has other two books, I think, that are published under her real name. They're kind of like a YA romance kind of thing. I have not read those, but her prose is so overwritten, but like in the best way possible. And I was so excited for this book, and it did not disappoint. I have finished this book yesterday. I have read from page 181 until the end of this, which was like page 386. So I have read 205 pages off of Januaries, and then after I finished Januaries, I have also read this short graphic novel called Fangs by Sarah Andersen. This was really cute. This was fun and quick and heartwarming. This is a love story between a vampire and a werewolf. And I feel like what was captured here was very unique and different from anything else that I've read or seen before. I just want to show you what the art style is. It's just so cute and fun and just like lighthearted and funny, but also really well done in my opinion. I have this gorgeous physical copy of the book that I'm very happy that I could get. It is one of those like cloth bound editions. It has black sprayed edges, and also on the back it says I want your love, but love is crossed out and it says blood, which is very on brand with this kind of story. So yeah, on Sunday in total, I have read 305 pages and I have finished a book and then a graphic novel. And then today I have started Cassandra Clare's Swordcatcher. I have bought this book on release day and I feel like more than a year has passed and I have not read it until now, so I want to correct that in this video. This is the first Cassandra Clare book that is not under the umbrella of the Shadowhunter world, and I am very excited because I feel like Cassandra Clare as a fantasy writer does things in a very unique and fresh way. And even though her Shadowhunter novels encapsulate a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people, and I feel like that's contributing as well to their success, her talent and her writing style are undeniable, and I was very excited to finally get to this, but I was just intimidated by the sheer size of this. This is massive. Like, I have read almost 100 pages and this is how it looks like. So we'll see how much I will be able to read from this in this video, if I can finish it or not. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I will be reading more of this on my lunch break and also after work today, and I will update you tomorrow morning with my progress from Swordcatcher.
Sitting in the basement apartment I rented with you, remembering the holiday party we had with the crew. Romeo was roaming the garden, in a parking lot, gave it all we got. It was so with you. Following the leader down 8th Street to get what we can. Crawl up the walls, make a few calls to the man. Promising the prominent angle. Find the square feet of the triangular man who always had the land.
Hello everyone and good morning. I will try to keep this very short today because I will have to go to the office in like 10 minutes or so. Yesterday I have made quite a dent. My god, I almost dropped this. I could kill someone with this. Yesterday I made quite a dent in Cassandra Clare's Swordcatcher. I have read 347 pages of this and I have stayed up so late to progress with this book because you can't put it down. It's very engaging and it moves very fast, but in the same time, we get a lot of the characters' thoughts and world building and stuff like that. So if you don't know what this book is about, we are basically following two characters throughout this whole story. The first character is Kel. Kel is an orphan and he was recruited to go to the king's court or castle or whatever they have to basically be the body double of the prince. And that was happening when he was really young, like 8 or 10 years old. But not only that, he's not only the prince's body double, he is also the sword catcher. And sword catcher is a title used for someone that is protecting the prince in this case with their life. So not only Kel will pretend to be the prince, but he will also be basically his bodyguard. And they develop this very close relationship, friendship. So this is one point of view that we are following in this book. The other point of view is from Lynn, who is an Ashkari physician. Now, Ashkari is the population from Castellane that is ostracized. They used to have magic and were very good at yielding its power, but something happened in the past and they pretty much lost the right, I guess, to practice their magic. And because of this, it's something that's very taboo in the world of Castellane. Not only that, but Lynn wanted to become a physician to help her childhood friend to overcome this chronic illness. She wants access to more resources so that she can help her friend. But naturally, because they will have to meet at some point, Lynn meets Kel when he is injured by something that happens in the criminal underworld of Castellane. Lynn is brought up to the king's court to treat Kel. They meet and they might potentially discover a conspiracy. That's pretty much what's happening so far. Obviously, there are like a lot of details and world building, and there's a whole like plot B with the king that seems to suffer from a mental illness, or he might be mad or something like that. It's very reminiscent of Throne of Glass, the book, not the series, but we'll see how the story progresses. I am very excited for this one. My only concern is that if this will end on a cliffhanger, the second book is going to come out in March of 2025. I kind of did this to myself, but I will see how this ends. So yeah, this is my reading update for Swordcatcher for yesterday. Also, this morning I have started reading The Lost Story by Shaffer. This book seems to be one of those melanges of genres, like you have a bit of fiction, a bit of mystery and thriller, a bit of fantasy or magical realism. I'm not quite sure yet because I only read a couple of pages from this, but hopefully I will be able to read more of this today and see what is actually happening so that I can give you a proper synopsis or update on this one. But the beginning of this sounds very, very promising. Okay, I'm gonna go to work now and I will see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, it is Tuesday today, or no, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday today. Okay, I got a little bit confused. It's Wednesday today. Yesterday, I have read more of Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. So I have read 128 pages of Swordcatcher and also 29 pages of The Lost Story by Shaffer. And that brings us to a total of 157 pages read yesterday. I'm looking down because I have an actual sticky note with the days and the pages and everything so that I can keep track of what I'm doing in this video, because to be honest, this week I'm kind of a mess. But let's get back to Swordcatcher, because this morning I have actually finished this one and I have a lot of thoughts about this. Unfortunately, I can't really say that much because they would be a spoiler. But what I really appreciated about this book, Cassandra Clare has a way of writing where she would plant this seed in your head about a character or a situation or a backstory or whatever it is. She would plant this little seed in your head, and then a character would say something or do something and you're sure, like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is what's going to happen. Like, you already know as a reader. And then a couple of pages after that, it will be actually revealed that, yes, that's actually the case and you figured it out. And it's so rewarding when authors do this. Like, they plant these little hints, these little seeds of information. They're not like very explicit or detailed or stuff like that, but you as a reader just know where the story is going to go. And when it's finally revealed, and that is actually the case, the thing that you thought about, it's actually happening, it's very fun, it's very exciting. So this happened throughout this book. multiple times and I loved it. I loved every second of it. There were some things that didn't really resonate that well with me and I was a bit worried for a second, but those moments were very rare, I feel like, with this book. Cassandra Clare is amazing at world building and at creating meaningful connections and relationships between the characters, and this book is no exception. I really liked the relationship between Cal and the prince and Lynn and how they would bounce off of each other ideas and stuff like that. And I love that Lynn grew so much as a character from the beginning of this book to the very end. This ends on a cliffhanger, and I am very excited for the next book already. It's going to come out in 2025 in March. And yeah, I cannot wait to pick that one up when it's going to be released. So this is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. Now, let me talk a bit about the Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. This is actually matching my phone case almost perfectly. I love this shade of yellow so much. I know on the camera it kind of looks borderline orange, but in real life it's yellow. Okay, the Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. I have read a little bit of this yesterday morning and yesterday night as well. I kind of fell asleep reading a chapter just because I was so tired, not because this was boring. So the premise for this book is very interesting. I don't think I've read something quite like it before. So we have the prologue that's happening 15 years before the events of this book, and there are these two boys that are lost in the woods. A nurse finds them strolling around in the woods being very confused. One of them is injured and she calls an ambulance and they are rescued basically. And then 15 years later, we are in the point of view of Emily, and Emily lost her sister. Her sister supposedly, allegedly got kidnapped and then murdered, and she never met her sister because she was adopted. It's like a whole thing. And now, in present day, Emily is trying to reach out to one of the boys that disappeared 15 years ago because in the meantime, he became this investigator or police officer or whatever he is that's focusing on finding girls that disappeared or got lost. He is involved in missing persons investigations, basically. And she went to one of his conventions about safety and what to do when someone disappears and stuff like that. And she tried to convince him to help her find her lost sister. So this is kind of where I left off. The premise of this is very interesting. And I have this very eerie feeling as to what happened to these two boys that disappeared in the past. It's alluded that something kind of like magical or out of this world happened, but we don't really know for sure. Structurally, this book is also very interesting and exciting and kind of unique. I don't think I've read anything quite like it before. We have an intermission from our narrator, basically. And it says Storyteller's Corner and then a recipe for a fairy tale. And I wanted to read this to you because I feel like it's a super cool idea on how to set up a book. So it says, "Hello, this is your storyteller. You may already be wondering why I'm intruding onto this story like this, which is a fair question. But this is a fairy tale and fairy tales play by their own rules. I wanted you to be aware of these rules so we can all, pun intended, be on the same page. First, what is a fairy tale? A wise and kind teacher I once knew worked up her own recipe. It went something like this: Mrs. Adler's recipe for a fairy tale. For any fairy tale worth its salt, you will need most, if not all, of the following ingredients. One princess in some sort of trouble and or distress. One magician. If a magician is unavailable, you may substitute a wizard and or wise woman. Basically, anyone with magic powers who knows more than they're willing to tell. One hero, the more unlikely, the better. 1 to 3 villains worth fighting, and don't skimp on the evil deeds. A member of a royal family disguised as a nobody. A pinch of unusual animals. Place all ingredients into a world that it is not your own, mix well, and let it rise. You'll know you've created a good fairy tale if your story ends happily ever after for the heroes and badly for the villains. You might have noticed the storyteller isn't listed in the recipe, but I am there, I promise you. We'll play Rumpelstiltskin's game, and I'll let you guess my name. Oh, for this story, you should also know about the rule of three. In fairy tales, things are always coming in threes. 3 bears, 3 wishes, 3 clicks of your heels to get back home. And fairy tales also begin with once upon a time and end with they all lived happily ever after. And of course, fairy tales are fiction. Always. Well, except for this one. It's super interesting to me how this story is actually structured. And from the very few pages that I have read yesterday, I already saw more interventions from the storyteller, so I think it's going to be a recurring thing in this book, which I'm very excited about. Okay, that being said, I will see you tomorrow. I feel like I talked a lot. I just filmed my October reading wrap up and I am quite exhausted from that, but I wanted to give you a reading update for yesterday. So let's see how many pages I read yesterday. For Swordcatcher, we have already talked about this. I have finished Swordcatcher, so that was 127 pages. And then I have started 2 new books. The first one is Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson. This is a prequel novella from the Summoner Circle series. This is Rhys's and Moira's backstory from their first year of marriage and kind of how they navigated a potentially haunted house. The things that are happening in this book are alluded to in Evocation, which is this one. You can see how gorgeous these covers are. It's kind of like, I don't know, a parent and a child or something like that. They're very cute together. But yeah, I had a really great time reading this. It's fun, it's cute. We get to see a lot more of these characters that I really liked in Evocation. And I would highly recommend, if you read Evocation and you want to find out more about Rhys and Moira and their relationship with David specifically, highly recommend Odd Spirits. So Odd Spirits was 115 pages, and then I have also started another book that is the second part from, I have it right here. I'm sorry, this is a whole mess, but I have started the second book from the um, Vicious duology. I think it's called the Vicious duology, right? I'm not sure. I have really liked this one, and I'm very happy about it because I didn't have a great experience with the Schwab books in the past, but this is truly amazing, and I wanted to read its sequel as well, so that's what I'm currently doing. I am currently 191 pages into Vengeful. So that's happening. I read a lot yesterday, stayed up very late again. But yeah, that would bring us to a total of 433 pages for yesterday. Today, I have already read more from Vengeful, and my thoughts so far is that I don't really know if this was really necessary as a sequel to Vicious, but I guess we'll see how the story progresses. I still have like maybe 200 pages left from this book. I will see if I will be able to read more from this today, or if not, I will continue tomorrow. And I will let you know my thoughts on this after I finish it. So yeah, that would be the update for yesterday. I will go now because I have to edit a video and then I have to start working. So I will see you tomorrow with another reading update. Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. I am so happy that the weekend is almost here because this week was a very long one. I don't know what happened, but I had a lot of stuff to do. So, yeah, I'm happy that tomorrow is Saturday and I will have a bit more time for myself and just like do a little bit of cleaning around the house and go out and not be as stressed as I was this week. Okay, in terms of the reading update for yesterday, I have read 266 pages of Vengeful. I still have a little bit of this book to read today, and I think I will be able to finish it. I have to decide what book I will start next. I didn't make any progress with The Lost Story by Meg Shaffer, but I feel like this is the type of book that I can read just like in between bigger books. I have some options that I wanted to show you. So in terms of my sort of kind of TBR. I don't actually have an immediate TBR just because I am a mood reader. And even if I have a book that I'm very excited about on my physical TBR or that I have to read for a video or stuff like that, if I don't feel like it, if I don't think that that specific book is right for me in that specific moment in my life, I will not read it. Like I will not force myself to read it. So this is more like books that I am currently excited about to potentially start soon. First off, I have an ebook. This is an Academy for Liars. I don't know if you're able to see because the Kobo screen is not lit up. This is a newer release by Alexis Henderson. Is it? Yeah. Alexis Andersen, and I've heard this is like a dark academia sort of book. So you all know I like dark academia. I am very excited to potentially start this weekend, but we'll see on that. I also have a newer release by Erin A. Craig, the same author that wrote the House of Salt and Sorrows and House of Roots and Ruin. I had to squint for my physical TBR back there. I haven't read those books yet, but this sounded really good. It's dark, gothic, and I think the either Death or Death Incarnate is a character in this book, if I'm not mistaken. So excited about this. Hopefully I will be able to read it this month because today is 1st of November. So We'll see. And then a book that I've heard a lot of good things about is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I'm pretty sure in this one you have the main character who is cursed by a fairy or something like that, and she only has half her soul and she can't really comprehend social norms and stuff like that. Also, because the name of the series is the Regency Fairy Tales, I am pretty sure, almost certain, the light is not great, I don't think you can see, but I am almost certain that this is set in the Regency period, which I always like. Then a book that I bought kind of on a whim, I don't really know that much about it other than the fact that it is by Otessa Mashfake. It is the same author that wrote My Year of Rest and Relaxation, and I think she has another popular book with a sheep or a goat on the cover. It's called La Povna. It is shortlisted, or it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize of 2016. A short story for a day where I want to read a book and just not think about anything else. So I also have this as a potential next read. And then I actually remember, I think I started this book on my Kobo, I think, when I was away. Yeah, I have already started this. I didn't read that much from it. I also have the physical copy. So this is an anthology of Dark Academia short stories. Not something that I will be finishing anytime soon, but I can read from this from time to time. And then I have Wolf Song by TJ Klune. Oh my god, the color correction is very drastic on these sprayed edges. I promise you this is not this saturated in real life. I heard a lot of good things about this specific series from TJ Klune. I have already read The House in the Cerulean Sea and his newer release that is Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I don't think it's visible on the camera right now. But I like those books a lot from TJ Klune, and I've heard this is very heartbreaking and really sad at times and emotional. So I wanted to start this series when, I don't know, but it's on my desk, so hopefully soon. And then I have a very strange book that I was very excited to read in October and I didn't really get to it. It is Vampires, a Handbook of History and Lore of the Undead. It's a really cool edition. It has a lot of illustrations and stuff like that. It looks like this. And then it has, some information on different types of vampires and how vampires are depicted in certain parts of the world and stuff like that, with a lot of lore and folklore. I will see if I will be in the mood to start this anytime soon, but if not, I'm sure I will get to it eventually next year in the spooky season. So that's that. But yeah, that will be it for today. I am going to continue with Vengeful, and hopefully I will be able to finish it today, and then I'll see how I feel, if I will start a new book or if I will continue with the lost story. But either way, I will see you tomorrow with another reading update. Hello everyone. Today is Saturday. It is almost 4 in the afternoon. Today I woke up at like 5:30. I read for a bit in the morning and then I went out. I had some coffee and I also went to the English bookstore that I usually go to see if they have a book in the actual physical location, and they had it, and I bought another one as well. So I'm going to show you what I got. But first, let me give you a reading update for yesterday. So yesterday I have read and finished Vengeful by Schwab. I have read 118 pages of this. And then before bed, I read a very short chapter of The Lost Story, where here you go. The Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. I have only read 11 pages of this, so that brings us to a total of 129. Is that correct? 118 with 11? Yes, 129. Okay, so 129 pages for yesterday. In terms of my thoughts for Vengeful, I'm still not yet convinced that this book was necessary in the economy of the duology. I think Vicious concluded on its own very well, and I was happy with that ending. But that being said, I liked this. I had a great time. I enjoyed it. I like a lot the new characters that were introduced in this one, specifically June and Marcella. I really liked their story arc and how they interacted with each other and how they kind of rattled the old cast of characters. I truly think Vicious is amazing on its own. And then Vengeful, it's an okay book if you want to pick up that's set in the same universe, but I think that if you would read Vicious and not read this one, I don't think you would miss much, to be honest. So yeah, I like this duology overall. I think it's fine. This was amazing. This was okay. I liked it. So yeah, these are my thoughts on Vengeful and Vicious. Wait, did I buy the wrong edition again? I'm not sure if the spines are supposed to look like this, because you see how on Vicious the text is vertical and on Vengeful it's horizontal. I will have to look for pictures online to see if I actually got the wrong edition again, or they're intended to look like this. This is done. Let's put them back here. And then in terms of my thoughts about the Lost Story, I have read more of this today. I am currently on page 99, and I'm planning to read a bit more of this just because where I stopped, it's kind of a cliffhanger how the chapter ends, so I want to get past that a little bit more. I really like where the story is going so far. We had some pieces of information fed to us in between the chapters by the narrator of the story, and there is something that one of the main characters said that kind of got me thinking about the direction of this one and about the intentions of another character that we didn't really meet yet in the story. We only heard about her in snippets of information from other characters, but we didn't really actually meet her yet. So I have a about what's to come, what is the role of this very mysterious character that we are trying to find, but I will just have to continue reading and find out what's actually happening. And then in terms of the books that I bought today, so the first one is they say it's a comic, but I would say it's more so like a graphic novel. This is My Neighbor Totoro in comic book format or graphic novel format. It is chunky, and what is very exciting for me personally about this is that it has that typical Japanese manga-esque format, I guess, because you would actually have to read it from right to left instead of left to right. Like it's like this, and you would have to start with it from the end, if that makes sense. So I have never experienced this with a physical book before. I am very excited about it because it's something new that I'm experiencing right now. And also the end papers are really cool. They have this very fall-esque pattern on them. These are super cute. And then in terms of, I almost said animation style, but it is illustration style. It's just like the illustrations from the actual movie. I am trying to find a page where we only have like an image that's bigger. Oh, there you go. This is actually with Totoro. This is super cute. I will see when I will start reading this, but knowing myself, I'm very impatient to start reading it. So maybe it's going to be today, maybe it's going to be in the future. But yeah, I'm very excited that I have found this in stock. And then I have bought a book that I have on my Kobo. Don't ask me why I bought the physical format because I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but this is kind of dusty. This is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. It's supposed to be dark academia. I am a bit scared because I guess I am kind of a bit disappointed and traumatized with my experience with A Deadly Education from last month, but maybe this is going to be better. Maybe, hopefully, because this was kind of expensive. But yeah, this is something that I want to start soon as well. It has these really cool illustrations for the chapter headings. And that's pretty much it. I'm very pleased with the fact that this is large text. So yeah, this is my little book haul with the books that I have bought today. And that being said, I will read more of the Lost Story now. I have here a cup of coffee that I freshly brewed. And I will see you tomorrow on Sunday with the conclusion, I guess, of this video, because today is the last day. It is the 7th day of me showing you what I'm reading and how much I'm reading every day for a week. So yeah, I'm going to see you tomorrow.
Sitting in the basement apartment I rented with you, remembering the holiday party we had with the crew. Romeo was roaming the garden. Saturday was spent in a parking lot
Hello, everyone, and good morning. It is Sunday today, so that means yesterday was the last day of me showing you how much and what I read during a week. So, I am going to update you on what I read yesterday, and then we will just talk about this last week overall so that I can conclude this video. Today is very gloomy outside. It almost feels like it's almost night, and it is like 10 a.m. Okay, let me just light up my pumpkin candle and let's then talk about the books that I read this week. Okay, so yesterday I have continued with The Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. I am currently almost halfway through. Yesterday, I have read 125 pages of this, and I am happy with the fact that what I thought it's going to happen happened, and they're just thrust in this new setting and situation, and they have to brainstorm a way to basically get out of it and maybe potentially save the world, or at least the world that they are thrust in. That said, I'm very happy with how the story is going so far. It reminds me a lot of Tress of the Emerald Sea, not as much in setting, but the actual structure of the story and the very funny intermissions from the narrator and stuff like that. It's breaking the fourth wall quite a lot, and I always appreciate that in stories. So I am very happy with how this goes so far, and I am eager to finish this maybe today or tomorrow. I'm gonna see about that. And then in terms of the overall week, I have read a total of 1,762 pages, and the average per day would be around 250 pages, which is quite a lot for me. I just feel like some books I'm reading faster because I am like really curious to see what's happening. In terms of the actual books that I have read during this past week, I have finished Januaries by Olivie Blake. I read Fangs by Sarah Andersen, Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare, Vengeful by Schwab, and I have started The Lost Story. Please let me know in the comments down below if you like this video format, if you enjoy watching it, because for me personally it's very fun to film and to edit. So I might do more of these in the future if you enjoy them as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye everyone.